outside today, and I was just like, it is just drop dead gorgeous. So I said, you know something? I don't even need to take a ride or a walk or a ride to the park and show you the Hudson River. I'll just show you my yard today, as you Brits say, me garden. I'm back in me garden with me pool. I forgot to put the sliding glass doors over there. The screen door is down. It looks a little stupid. I'll put it back on afterwards. One thumbs up, and oh, there's someone in the chat. The first person in the chat. It took a while. It took 39 seconds. Wow. You guys are slower to the draw today. What a gorgeous, gorgeous day. What a beautiful Saturday. 8 people in the chat. One thumbs up. Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Georgia Kenley, how are you? Great to see you. A little diet peach iced tea right now. Stressing the diet. Boxing MMA, how you doing? Lynn S. Mesa, hey Bill, beautiful day there. Just drop dead gorgeous here. I almost wished Mary, hello Mary. I almost wish I would have taken a ride out to Long Island today and went to Robert Moses along the beach. It's just a beautiful day. Antonio, hello. Bob Cosmic, how you doing today, Bill? Coffee Girl, hello. Bill Campbell, nice to see you guys. Great to see everyone. I mean, I hope everyone's taking advantage of this beautiful weather today. Hello from Perth, Australia. Wow. Another continent, many continents away, right? From what I hear, I've never been to Australia, but people tell me it's like I don't know, from New York, it's maybe like a 36-hour flight. I think first you got to fly West Coast to California, stop in Hawaii maybe, and then take the second leg of the trip. Dylan Chase, yo Bill, hey, your precinct found my stolen chopper bike back in the early 80s. That's great, that's excellent. Tanner Family Memories. Hello, Tanner Family, good to see you. You know, guys, I mean, I don't know if anyone tuned in yesterday, the finality to that Gonzalo Lopez case. Just absolutely one of the most tragic stories I ever heard. And last night, Antonio, Lloyd Harbor, Will Bobby can go out on the boat. Good to see you, Antonio. Lloyd Harbor is beautiful, beautiful. And I know it's the North Shore of Long Island. We used to play, when I was in junior high school, we used to play Cold Spring Harbor Junior High School. And it was one of the most amazing looking high school gyms I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, whoa, these are all the rich kids, you know, this is the rich kids. David Adams, raining in Tampa. The switcheroo has been pulled. Laugh out loud. Good to see you, Bill. You too, David. Great to see you. So back to the Gonzalo Lopez thing. Just so tragic, and the whole thing of him escaping from that prisoner bus, and you know, out there for 3 weeks, was in the same. They kept saying that they felt he was in the same 5-mile area, and I seriously doubted that. I expressed my feelings that I doubted that he was still there, and sure enough, he was still there, you know. Rochella, listening from the beach here in Mount Sinai, Long Island. Beautiful, Rochella. I know that's the North Shore of Long Island. You're on Long Island Sound. Just gorgeous. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys saw last night, Duty Run was on Ashley Banfield on News Nation. And following up on that story, it's you know, sometimes the stories we cover, they really become, you know, or are national news stories, and that's one of the reasons we cover them from a police perspective. Yeah, Bob Cosmic, I doubted it too. I thought he was long gone. Yeah, me too. And then, but you know something, we weren't privy, as I always say, to the investigation part, and apparently him or someone looking like him was caught on deer cameras and caught on some of the cameras they have out there, dressed in a camouflage suit. I forget exactly what they call that suit. And we didn't know that, but the law enforcement was told that. Law enforcement was told a lot of things by the people that lived there, specifically the folks that were on DNA and deer cams, right? They were told a lot of things that they seemingly ignored, and they also didn't take that information and spread it out to the folks that lived around there. these people go, the family that goes to their cabin, and a ghillie suit, that's what it's called, exactly, and it's like one of those camouflage suits that has like plants and tree branches growing off it, and somehow, yeah, I know, hard to handle, that's my screen, I gotta put, it keeps falling off, something, those screens can be a pain in the butt sometimes. Once they get stretched out, it's hard to keep them in place, so I gotta figure this one out. But I should have put it out of sight because now it's distracting to everyone. Folks, we got 67 people in the chat and only 20 thumbs up. Let's get some thumbs up for that, you know. And you folks that are just coming to Police Off the Cuff, real crime stories that aren't subscribed, please go on our YouTube and hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up and ring that bell. And if you want to support us on Patreon, we have 3 different levels. And if you want to become part of the Police Off the Cuff Real Crime Stories YouTube family, we have 5 different levels, and we really appreciate your support. Bill Campbell, switching to TV. Hope you're not switching. Oh, you're going to put my podcast on TV? I hope that's what you mean. I don't want you to tune out, you know. 73 people here, and Turquoise, good to see you. 37 thumbs up. So, that was some horrible ending to that story. The only good part of the ending was that Gonzalo Lopez was shot and killed by the Texas police. That was the only good part of it. You know, a couple of people objected to me saying that on the show yesterday, and I firmly stand behind that. I think that is the only good part of this case, that he met his maker. He decides to, you know, kill 5 people and then shoot it out with the police. I can't think of a better ending to that guy's miserable life, you know. Just a tragic story. And, you know, I know Ashley Banfield, she's had a rough week, you know, between covering the Uvalde school shooting at the Robb Elementary School, and then the finality to this case, where she was screaming out to that guy, Robert Hurst, who was the public relations guy for the Texas Bureau of Prisons. And I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but he was the public relations guy, and he was not giving out really timely, nor we were calling him the minister of misinformation, you know. And apparently Ashley Banfield had reached out to them numerous times and said, you got to come on TV and keep updating people. You think he's still in the area? Come on TV, come on national television. Let the people that live in the area know that. And they kept turning her down. Brian B., you know, I haven't confirmed that. I believe that he shot them. But I'm pretty sure I read that, but it's not. Law enforcement is also, again, even with those details, they've been very closed-mouthed. They haven't put it out there. You know, the other thing was he laying in wait for them? Was he already in their house as they got there to spend some days there with their grandfather, the 4 kids and the grandfather, going maybe fishing and hunting? Was he already in that house? That apparently, yeah, the Collins family, just ridiculous, you know, just ridiculous. So was he laying in wait in that house? Because apparently they had found he had broken into several other houses, and that indicated obviously to law enforcement that he was still in the area. Then why didn't they tell everyone? Why didn't they give everyone a heads up that that's where he was? I can't understand that. You know, it's bothering me a little bit that you have to look at that screen door. I'm going to move so you don't have to look at that, and because it's a little bit distracting. Let me move over. Okay. And I still want you to be able to see the pool, although you can't yet. You can't now. There we go. There we go. We could still see the pool. So yeah, I mean, now you could see a little. All right, I got to move then. I got to move a little bit. Okay. The things that now you could still, okay, now the screen door is out of the way. You can still see the pool. How's that look? The pool is ready to go, but it's freezing right now. And I'm not a Wim Hofer. Any of you guys Wim Hofers? Anyone know what that is? Wim Hofing? That's when these people believe in diving into ice cold water as sort of like a therapeutic thing. Darren C4, when you take an oath to protect and serve, you run into a school shooting, even if you're alone. Absolutely. Number one fan, beautifully obvious. Yes, box breathing. Oh, is that what it's called, Wim Hofing? Any Wim Hofers out there that like to dive into freezing cold water? Yeah, I'm really, the deck I'm sitting on right now, I don't know if you saw it before, my wife and I actually stained that a couple of days ago, and we did it in 93-degree heat. So we were like sweating into the stain as it hit the deck. So our blood, sweat, and tears are into this. Turquoise, I love swimming. Your pool and yard is awesome, and it helps me with my neck, back, and fibro. Crime soap opera, heck no. London girl, hey Bill, hi everyone. Look, I got people from across the pond here. Rocky, hi Sergeant Bill, how are you, Rocky? Design rhythm, beautiful pool. Don't you love when you have a beautiful day? It's just, I know Richella is at the beach out in Mount Sinai, Long Island Sound, and I'm sure she's having a great time with Lieutenant Pete. Jane, watching from the UK, how are you? Mary Martinez, enjoy it in good health. Gloria Fritz, hello everyone. Ellen Barton, hi Bill, from Belfast, Ireland. Wow, the northern part of Ireland, right? I was at Belfast. I went to, I took a train from Dublin, and we wound up in Cushendall. Cushendall was way north of Belfast. And Richella is relaxing and enjoying the breeze. That's what you always want when you're on the beach, right? Is that nice breeze that cools you off and everything, right? So my one son, Jake, is Bill Campbell, boxing MMA, Rocky, Godspeed on Monday. Thank you, Rocky. My son, Jake, is coming up today. Is it today? Yeah, today or tomorrow, because he's going to actually help me, my first, Monday I'm having my surgery, but I'm going to stay overnight, so he's actually going to help out to Tuesday, and then Tuesday my son Casey is flying in from Denver, Colorado. I'm hoping I don't need that much help. I didn't think I needed that much help the last time, but when I say that, my wife rolls her eyes. Crime soap opera, good luck, thank you. So, yeah, last time I had my, 3 years ago, I had my left hip done, and I remember it's really hard to sleep because you can't like sleep on your side because it hurts too much. So you have to like figure out a way how to sleep that's not too painful. So that was my biggest problem the last time. And then 3 weeks after I had my surgery, I was at that time I was auditioning for commercials and stuff, and I got a call to go in to do an audition, and I was like, oh no. And because what that entailed was, of course, taking the subway. I actually would drive in and then I would take the subway downtown, because a lot of the auditions were downtown near like Wall Street area, and so I had to go take the subway, go down the stairs, and I wasn't all that confident at that point. But I did it, and that was 3 weeks after it. So I'm hopefully, you get up walking right after that same day. You're up walking around the halls, and it's like it's a little strange that you're already walking the same day, but you are. Look, I'm looking to come back as quickly as possible. I'm not a guy that likes to sit around. I'm type A personality. I want to get back on the microphone. Phil's a little nervous that he might have to do a show by himself. I don't know if he's ready to do it. I said, Phil, go ahead, go do it. He has the ability to do it. He has the key. I mean, he can get on the channel without me. So you see if he'll do it. He's talking about doing a show by himself. I said, go ahead, man, be my guest. Everyone thinks they can be the main host till you try it. Then everyone's gunning for you, Everyone's gunning for the host. But it's tough, it's tough sometimes to host, to do what we do, and I don't want anyone shedding any tears or playing the violin, but you have to do so many things at once. You know, you have to queue up videos and you have to preset the videos. You have to remember to turn on the sound for the video and turn off your microphone so it doesn't feed back. And then you have to check that little box as you load. It's like there's so many things that if you don't do it correctly, you could screw it up. Ellen Barton, thank you, Ellen. Sweet 70433, good to see you. Robin Gerhardt, knowing what to expect helps prayers. I know what to expect. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm not the hard to handle the price of fame, Bill. Yeah, I guess so. You could say that. I can't believe it. You're not confident, Bill. No, I'm confident, but I don't, at the same time, I think it's good to be confident but not cocky, right? What did they say in that show years ago, Kung Fu? Grasshopper, learn to expect the unexpected. I always remember that, you know. You worked Midtown North, correct? Do you remember Mike Collins? He was a captain. Mike Collins actually became a chief. Midtown North and Manhattan North are two different things. Midtown North is a precinct on 54th Street, which is known as a hook house. By hook means everyone wants to work there because it's the theater district, it's models, it's actresses, it's beautiful people all over, tourists, theaters, everything is there. So all the big bosses' kids go to Midtown North. Manhattan North is a borough, patrol borough, Manhattan North, on which there's 13 precincts. I worked there my whole career. My last 10 years I was in homicide, which we worked the 10 precincts of Manhattan North of the borough. Midtown North is in patrol borough Manhattan South. Anything below 59th Street in Manhattan is the South. Anything above 59th Street is Manhattan North. So that's how it's delineated. And of course, when you get too far north, then it's the Bronx. You know, the Bronx. So that's for folks that don't understand Manhattan and how it's broken up, that's it. Anything above 59th is the north, anything below is the south. The south is more commercial, not as residential. Of course, there's residential communities in the south, but it's more of a commercial area. Of course, you got Madison Square Garden, you got the theater districts, you got the Javits Center, you got all kinds of commercial establishments, the garment district, which clothes half the world, you know. Captain Collins, he became a chief. He was a two-star chief, and I think he retired as the head of Deputy Commissioner of Public Information, which deals with the press. I actually want to hear something. There was a movie called Michael Collins with Liam Neeson. Of course, that's his name, Michael Collins. So I had called him up, and I was going to the premiere, and I had a couple of extra tickets, and I asked him, I said, would you like to go? And he said, yes. He goes, I was already going. He goes, but I could use a couple of extra tickets. So I met him in the front of the theater, and I gave him the extra tickets. And at this premiere, you were able to meet the star of the movie because he was at the premiere as Liam Neeson. So he was introduced to Michael Collins. Of course, Michael Collins, handed him his card. At the premiere of Michael Collins, he handed him his business card with Michael Collins on it. So I thought it was pretty cool. And that's how I met Michael Collins, the chief. But, and I wondered if he was named after that Irish revolutionary, Michael Collins. I never asked him, I never found that out, so maybe you know. You get some stories like that. You know, in 1996, I did bodyguard work for Arnold Schwarzenegger. And it was pretty interesting walking around Midtown with him because everywhere you went, people were screaming to him. This was when he was a huge, huge star. All those movies, I can't even think of all his movies, but he was the biggest action star of the time, at that time. And all the construction workers were yelling, "Hasta la vista, baby! Hey, Arnold, hasta la vista!" and they would be yelling, I'll be back, you know. And I thought it was just funny. I mean, he was just such an international star. And I thought he was pretty gracious, too, when people came up to him and asked him. He didn't like to be approached for an autograph, and that's why I guess he had, wherever he went, he had security. This was way before he became the governor of California. I think when I worked for them the first time, Maria Shriver, they were married at the time, was winning, I think, a Peabody Award for her work in journalism. And then shortly thereafter, I think that it may have been that summer, I could be incorrect, but JFK Jr. Crashed with his plane near Martha's Vineyard with his wife and her sister on board. It was really a tragic situation. And at that time, I happened to be on vacation. In Martha's Vineyard. And I actually flew back from Martha's Vineyard to do bodyguard work for Arnold Schwarzenegger on the service for JFK Jr. It was sort of crazy, but yeah, that's what happened. That was like 1996. That's a long time ago. Wow, it's 26 years ago. You know, when you talk about certain years, you say, oh, the 90s. Oh, that's not that so long ago. And then it's 1996, and you go, oh my God, that was 26 years ago. You know, it's crazy. But you know, when you think about it like that, it's really nutty. But you know, Bill Campbell, well, that seems like such a lifetime ago. Yeah, it does. You know, it seems like a lifetime ago for me. I graduated high school in 1975. Levittown Memorial High School. And look, 2025, although it's 3 years from now, that'll be 50 years, 50, that I graduated high school. That seems like a long time ago, you know. And one of the things like you see with social media, even sweet 7043374 here, so you know what I'm talking about. 74, 75, it seems like a real long. Lori Brythe, thank you. Bill Campbell, 75, I was 16. See, that's what I mean. See these wise guys in the chat letting us know how old we are? But it does seem like since, you know, graduating high school is one of those, of course, rites of passage, you know, one of those things that you better do in this day and age. And then going, and if you do go to college and then graduating college, or if you go to grad school, whatever you do, my next, you know, I did graduate from Nassau College, which is a 2-year, and then I graduated from Buff State. And then my next big graduation was from the police academy. 1985. K.H. Walker, she graduated in 1973. Wow, all you guys. Amanda Lottie, 1978, another 75. Darren, C4. Richella, 1964. Wow. Richella Pranzo, class of 1964. So you guys know what I mean, you know. Some wise woman just put in the chat, wasn't born in 1975. See, they got to, Richella and Pete, they got to make us feel bad for this, you know. Hey, it's always better to be alive than gone, right? Isn't that the truth, right? Pete too, Pete Pranzo, 1964, class of 64. Levittown Memorial is now a BOCES program, I know. You know, Levittown, when I grew up, had 4 high schools. It had Levittown Memorial, Levittown Division, Island Trees, and MacArthur. Just think of a school district that was so large that it had to have 4 high schools. And that was Levittown. 4 high schools it had. And then, I guess as the population dwindled, they closed Levittown Memorial. I don't know exactly what year they closed it, but they closed Levittown Memorial, and they made it a BOCES program. So my high school year, the building and the physical plant is still there. Brian B., I went to Division, graduated in 2000. Levittown Division, Blue Dragons. My good friend Ray Wideline was the head football coach at Levittown Division for years. And now he coaches baseball. He retired, but he coaches. And his brother-in-law was the legendary I say, because he was the second winningest coach in New York State history in baseball, and that was Doug Robbins, was the legendary coach of first Levittown Memorial, baseball and then Levittown Division, where I can't even count the accomplishments he had. Seems like every single year they would go to the Nassau County and then or to the state finals, and they would just yeah, oh yeah, I know Coach Wideline. I played baseball for Doug Robbins. See, I'm pulling these names out. People, they love to hear these old-time names. Doug Robbins was just, he ate, slept, lived, and everything baseball. He was a hell of a baseball player himself. He was a catcher. He was actually a bullpen catcher for the Yankees for a while. But yeah, hard to handle. Bill, you're out there living your best life. I need to get more motivated. Yeah, you know something? Look, you gotta do things. You gotta try things. You know, you can't be afraid. Look, I at the age of, well, how old was I? I guess I was like 57, 58. I started doing stand-up comedy, you know, and I did it for like 6.5, 7 years, and I just stopped after the pandemic because I wasn't after with this when the podcast took off. I just wasn't motivated to get back into the city, start doing open mics again. I used to run an open mic up here in Westchester at a bar called Lucy's. I used to run it every Monday night, and that was one of the best attended open mics in Westchester. People used to come from all around to go, and it was I thought it was a great open mic. So that never opened again. I don't even know if Lucy's opened again, but the open mic never started up again. And the hustle of comedy is really tough. You know, and I'm not saying I was ever destined to be a great comic, but I was okay, you know. I think I learned a lot from it that maybe transitioned me to doing this, you know. And I also tried acting, you know. I say tried because I was studying, I was going to classes, I was getting some work doing commercials, some work, short movies. Of course I did, as you guys know, we brag about it all the time, Phil and I did 6 episodes of The Perfect Murder on Investigation Discovery, but like everything, it's a hustle. And if you're not willing, or you don't have the time, or you don't have the passion to put everything into it, why do it, you know? So now I'm putting everything into this podcast, or I believe I am. I'm working hard at it, and I'm trying to make it the best possible show I can. And to do that, I can't really be distracted and doing other things. Lori Brythe, doing stand-up would be very hard, in my opinion. It's probably the hardest art form there is. You know, I'm not saying acting is really tough too. Ellen Barton, you're still singing, Phil? Yeah, I sing once in a while. I play the guitar. I try to pick up the guitar at least a couple times a day. That's another discipline. You put the guitar down and you don't play it. Guess what? You pick it up again, and your fingers don't want to work. They don't want to go where you want them to go. You know. It's the old expression, it applies to a lot of things. Use it or lose it. You got it. So you got to keep playing. You got to keep practicing. Richella Pranzo, Harlem Raiders, Matty Boy Sully, hi Lieutenant Pete, Rocky, Bill, you do a fantastic. Thank you, Rocky. I'm really happy all you guys have been supporting us and following us. As you can see, you gotta really be in this. You gotta learn the stories. You gotta apply the police point of view perspective to these stories, and I think that's what a lot of people want. Folks, if you like this channel, give us that thumbs up. There's 144 people listening right now, and I'm only seeing 110 thumbs up. Rocky, Patricia Baylor, you can't stop Irishman from singing. That's great. Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and winter's in the meadow. It's you, must come and I must bide. Oh, come ye back when summer's in the meadow. If I am dead as I may well be, and you will bend and tell me that you love me. Oh, Danny boy, I love you so. There, guys, I gave you a few bars of Danny Boy, which is a whatchamacallit. It's a challenging song to sing because it goes up really high to falsetto. You know, you got to reach those notes, but. That's probably the most popular Irish song of all time, and one of the most popular songs, period. Danny Boy. You know, it's amazing. Uh, you know, it's a great tune too, an Irish tune. I was just thinking of it the other day. It's called Raglan Road, but it's also called The Dawning of the Day. Uh, sing a few bars. On Raglan Road of a morning day, I saw her first and knew that her dark hair might weave a swell that I might one day rue. I saw the danger, yet I passed along the enchanted way, and I said, let grief be a fallen leaf at the dawning of the day. That's a great Irish tune, an old Irish tune. And I know it as Raglan Road, but it's also called The Dawning of the Day. Sometimes Irish songs are named 2, 3 different names to the songs, but that's, I know it as Raglan Road, and many may know it as The Dawning of the Day. It doesn't matter. It's a great old tune. And you know, when you go to Ireland, if you're a musician, you gotta bring your guitar, because every bar you go in, you could sit in and play with the guys, you know. And you know what they seem to love in Ireland, besides Irish music? They love country western music. For some reason, they just love country western music. And maybe because country western music was an outgrowth of Irish music, right? I think that makes sense, right? Irish music came before country western music because it goes back centuries. And so country western, you know, followed the lead of Irish music and developed a whole different style of what became known as country western music. And then of course it changes, rockabilly, country rock, you know, all kinds of different things of outgrowths from it. But that's the nature of music, you know. Give you a joke. You know, I haven't been doing comedy. It's hard to tell a joke, right? You know, it was funny the other night. I did this show with Patrick Ryder, who's the Nassau County Police Commissioner. Great guy. What a smart guy. Great guy. And Edmund Hartnett was supposed to be on the show also, who was also a police commissioner. He was formerly the Yonkers Police Commissioner. And Ed is a consultant to police departments all over the country, so he's always traveling. And he was in Atlanta, and he called me and he said, look, I think it was on Tuesday night, he was supposed to come back, and his flight was canceled. Or maybe Wednesday night, his flight was canceled. So he called me, he said, look, he goes, I'm going to try to get out tomorrow. He goes, but I don't know what's going to happen because there was thunderstorms. So his flight got canceled on Thursday too, and he didn't make the show. And I jokingly said, you know, that's because Ed Hartnett had a trunk full of cash. It was so heavy that the plane was weighed down and they couldn't take off, so they canceled the flight. That's a joke I always say to him, because he's all over the place doing consultant work, and I'm sure he makes a pretty penny doing that, being the former Yonkers Police Commissioner and an NYPD retired chief. Of course, I've heard of Van Morrison. Van Morrison is, like, to me, is one of the greatest musicians and songwriters that ever lived. You know, if I asked you guys, right, in the chat, let's see. I compare, I guess, Van Morrison. I said he's one of the greatest songwriters ever. So let's compare him or put him in the same category as Bob Dylan. If you had to pick who was a greater songwriter, if you believe Bob Dylan was the greatest songwriter than Van Morrison, put a number 1 in the chat. If you believe that Van Morrison is one of the greatest songwriters and better songwriter than Bob Dylan, put a 2 in the chat. I don't see you guys voting. Lynn Harvey won, so that's for Bob Dylan, right? Bill Campbell, Van all the way. Jeffrey Crowley, Van. Judith Lyons, Bob Dylan. A lot of 2s. Infamous truth teller. I want to tell you guys who my thought is, and I know they're both giants of songwriting. but this may surprise a lot of you and maybe disappoint a lot of you, but I think Bob Dylan was probably the greatest songwriter ever and the greatest poet ever in folk, country, rock and roll, whatever you want to say. And I respect the hell out of Van Morrison, but I believe that Bob Dylan is a little bit better. Probably, they both have very prolific catalogs. They both have written hundreds and hundreds of songs. Of course, the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, they're great. The Rolling Stones have been together for over 50 years. There they are. I think Mick Jagger is 77 years old. Can you imagine still like dancing around on the stage at 77 years old? I guess that's what keeps them young, right? Unbelievable. Care, Bob Dylan. Paul Simon, outstanding songwriter. Yeah, I mean, look, we could go into a lot of people, but I think we spoke about two of the greatest, you know, Van Morrison and Bob Dylan as just pure songwriters, you know. Eric Clapton, well, look, my favorite guitarist of all time is Eric Clapton. Look at you guys are pulling out music catalogs from everywhere. I just saw a video on YouTube the other day, and it looked like another. Antonio, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Very much appreciated. It looked like Elton John was at some club. Like it was outside. It looked like it was a beach resort, and the DJ was playing some of his tunes, and he got up there and he sung a medley of his songs. I was like, imagine like being on vacation at some outside cafe, and there's a DJ there, and he playing music, and Elton John shows up and starts singing his songs. Like, that must like be incredible, right? Just Rocky, thank you, buddy, for the $1 super chat. You know, I was in after I retired in 2011, we went to Anguilla, which is just an incredible place. And there was this place called the Dune Club, and the owner is a guy named Banky Banks, who's a reggae artist. And they encouraged the audience that if you were a musician to get up on stage and play with them. So I got up on stage and I played with the band, and I played a bunch of tunes. It was so cool because it was like, I was in the Caribbean, you know, and I was playing with these reggae musicians, and it was just the coolest thing. And I still have pictures from it that I played guitar with Banky Banks, you know, a famous reggae star. And Banky Banks had gone on tour with Jimmy Buffett, so he was very much in that vein. He was reggae, but he loved like folk music and that style of music, you know, such as Jimmy Buffett plays. But it was so cool. DP Infamous, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Thank you guys, it's very much appreciated. Design Rhythm, Bill Campbell, sorry to hear that. He has been wondered by so many people. Maybe forgive him. I couldn't read all that because it's sort of bright and it went. Hard to Handle, Bob Marley, again, brilliant guy. I love his music. Probably the greatest reggae songwriter, right? And then Peter Tosh. I mean, there's so many of them. You can't like pick out in music. Music is taste, right? It's what you like the best, right? Kim Allison, really enjoyed meeting Commissioner Patrick Ryder. Yeah, superstar. You know, his cousin, Jim Cohn, was the commanding officer of the aviation unit on the NYPD for years, and he retired as a full inspector. And I think he's also like a colonel in the Army, and he retired from that. He lives down in Florida now, and he's a commercial pilot. He flies planes for multimillionaires. Say a millionaire wants to fly his jet to Colorado, he hires Jim to fly it, and then Jim will fly back commercial, and when they want him to come back to fly the plane back, he takes the commercial flight back. Sounds like a pretty good life, right? But he earned it, you know? And their cousin, Jack Cohn, was the quarterback for Notre Dame, who just got, Antonio, yes, he's a commercial pilot now, but he flies, you know, privately. But he just got drafted by the Indianapolis Colts. So pretty damn good family, right? Pretty good genes in that family. Cops and pro football players now, police commissioner, pilot, you know, that's amazing. They got a lot to talk about when they sit down at Thanksgiving dinner, you know. It's pretty interesting. So guys, wow, I feel this breeze. Like Rachella said, the breeze coming off the sound, it makes you feel good, especially when the sun. Joe Bissett, Great show, Bill. Enjoyed working with you on the Perfect Murder. Perfect Murder. Joe, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. Hard to handle. My life is in a rut. I need to get back to doing things. Could really be my home body size. Ellen Barton, Dan Joni in the band with Bob and Bob Marley. Design Rhythm, Coffee Girl. We can highlight a person. You know, when today these shows I do in the yard, I don't know. I was doing them for a while. I was calling them Coffee with Cannon, and then I called them Backyard Beverage, and it's almost like I don't know what the hell to call them. But what does it matter, right? I sort of like Backyard Beverage, but when I was doing them steady, people said, no, Coffee with Cannon is better than Backyard Beverage. I was like, all right, whatever. Let's just have fun. Let's talk for a half hour, 45 minutes, and have a good day. And here I'm talking to people in Ireland, England, Australia, Mount Sinai, Long Island, on the Long Island Sound, and you know, doing this live, and you guys are all over the place. It's an inspiration to be able to do this. It's just a hell of a lot of fun, you know. Drinks beside the pool. That's another one. I'll have to name it. I'll have to name it for depending on where I am at the time of day, you know. Drinks with Bill, Backyard Beverage, Coffee with Cannon. Love this chat. Wonderful Moonlight View. Good to see you. 148 in the chat. 146 thumbs up. Can we get to 150? Maybe 160 in the chat? I don't know. I'm at 41 minutes. True Boxing MMA. Janice Martin, what temperature is it where you are? I'd say it's got to be low 80s the way it feels. Windy, high from Oklahoma. Brian B., I played golf at Willow Creek. You ever played? I never played at Willow Creek. I was a Long Island boy. Years ago, I used to play at Eisenhower Park, and I used to play at Bethpage. I used to always play the black because the Bethpage black had the shortest weight because it was the most difficult course, but I didn't care. I wanted to get out and just hit the ball, you know. And it's an amazing course, Bethpage Black. And I used to caddy at Meadowbrook Country Club in Jericho, Long Island, which was a great, great course. And on Mondays, they used to let the caddies play golf for free. So Willow Creek is in Mount Sinai. No, I never played there. That's out there. Mount Sinai is a little far out there. I grew up in Levittown, so I would try to play somewhere in Nassau County when I played, you know. So guys, 151 in the chat. We never reached 160. What 152? If we could reach 160, I could have a wonderful day. I could have a glass of wine, you know. Ryan Reynolds' dad and three brothers are Vancouver police officers. Wow, that's pretty cool. Vancouver, my buddy Jim Burns, who's a blues guitarist, lives there, and I always wanted to get there to see him play. He's a great, great musician, great singer, great songwriter. No, I don't live in Mount Sinai. Lieutenant Pete and Richella live out there. I know of Mount Sinai. I grew up in Levittown, actually. But I haven't lived on Long Island in 35 years, maybe longer than that. But that's where I grew up. Aren't you supposed to be like a salmon, always returning home to your birthplace? I always thought that was funny. I never realized that anyone had ever fished for salmon. When salmon are about to die, they go back home and they die like feet from where they were born. It's a phenomenon that's in nature that's just incredible, incredible. Crime soap opera. I'm getting these bees are flying around now. So, Richella, okie dokie, been wetting and sweeping outside. Weeding, that pool looks inviting. Born and raised in Rockaway, Thomas Jordan. Wow, there's people from all over the, man. Guys, I'm at 43, almost 44 minutes. I'm going to exit stage left at 45 minutes. We have like a minute left. I just want to thank every single person that came in today. It's amazing that I can just turn on the phone and go live and talk to all you guys and have a great little broadcast here and have friends from all over the world. It's just, it never ceases to amaze me. And so many of you guys in the chat are friends with each other, which is inspiring to see, you know. And then many of you, or most of you, are part of the Duty Run family, which is fantastic also. And this whole, you know, podcasting world, which is just an amazing thing to do, and I'm loving it. And Robin Gerhardt, thank you. Coffee Girl, enjoyed the show. Good luck with surgery. Thank you, guys. I'll probably come on one last time tomorrow afternoon, and then I get my surgery They gave me a time I got to be there at 7:30, but that doesn't mean that's when the surgery starts. My surgery probably won't start till 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. They ask you 4 million questions. They ask you which hip about 30 times, so they make sure they do the right hip. And they ask you all kinds of other stuff. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day. God bless, and stay safe out there.